right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna get started by introducing our host organization, Real Estate IQ. We have a slew of products for real estate investors to find deals and also make contact and do outreach with motivate sellers. We just recently launched a whole bunch of programs as well to help you in your deals journey, including our deals program, where we bring you off-market deals where you can invest in. And a lot of these are fix and flip type of projects. Some are also very good for rental as well, along with funding program. So our mission is to help one more person to win. And what we realize is that for investors, to help you win faster, we want to bring you the deals as well. So stay in touch with our deals program, and we actually have a couple of deals active in our inventory right now. Quick disclaimer, this webinar is for education purposes only, and we don't offer investment, financial, or legal advice. If you have a deal and you need to close the deal, we are connected with a lot of experienced investors and resources that can help you close your deal. Just send your information of the deal over, and I'll connect you with the right person. Okay, today our host, we have Tamla joining us as well. She's an experienced real estate investor and entrepreneur. And we're going to introduce her up on stage really quickly shortly to tell us some of these deals that we're actually working on right now. This is our agenda. We're going to spend a couple of minutes with intro, and then we're going to talk about some quick market updates and case study. Today, we actually have a really cool educational topic on spirituality and entrepreneurship with my executive partner, John Huang. He's going to be presenting to us shortly. And then if you have deals or questions, you can feel free to use the chat box to ask your questions, or any deals that you have, live deals right now, you can pitch it. We'll give you some spotlight to talk about your deals. And then we'll close and share with you the upcoming events we have. We got a couple of really exciting events coming up. And so stay tuned. So real quick on market updates, what we have for today as breaking news is Austin apartment market is facing oversupply in housing and also community tension. The city has added significant apartment units from 2017 to 2024, and that pushed the inventory growth to nearly 9% and has led to vacancy rates as high as 15.1% in the second quarter of 2025, with South Austin hitting 13.8%. The average monthly rent has fallen now to around $1,430, a negative rent growth of minus 4.3%. The demand has absorbed 4,900 units in Q1, but the oversupply has really softened the property values. And those of you who are in Austin or close to Austin, or stay in touch with the Austin market, you probably see a lot of that happening. The high interest rate have also slowed down new construction, potentially tightening the supply and raising rents by 2026. So that's our market update. Next, we have a really exciting segment. It's on case study, and now I'm actually going to invite Tamla up here.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Tamla. Thank you for joining. So we're going to have talk about our deal in Mart. And we have before and after, and actually during too. I was putting the slides together just now, and it's pretty exciting to see how the property progresses over time. And just a background on this deal, this is a property that's located on a 20-acre land, which is also located in a opportunity zone. I reached the owner through Facebook ads, and had a really good conversation with him. And he was basically looking for a buyer, but he wasn't sure who is a solid buyer they can sell to. He didn't really want to sell to a wholesaler that just kind of toss him a number, and he doesn't know if they're going to close. So as we kind of got to know each other, I actually went and visited the property and met the owner as well, and built a little bit of a relationship. And we ended up acquiring the property. Actually, that was, I think, the time I reached out to Tamla. I go, hey, Tamla, you're in the area. Are you interested in this property? Because it's kind of a little bit far for me, and also I don't have any remodeling, rehab experience. Tamla, you want to maybe share your side of your perspective on this deal?
Yes, this Steve did reach out to me and ask me if I was interested, and I said, of course, I'm interested. Give me some more information, and he did. I did a little research on the property, and then Steve met me at the location about 2 weeks later, and we toured the property. I ended up finding out information that I knew of the owner. I didn't really know him, but I knew of him from other people that I knew. I knew his name, things like that, which also helped build a relationship because we kind of had some. We knew some of the same people, which helped. The property was it was very unkept. It needed a lot of TLC, shall I say, and Steve will agree with me on that. We toured the property. We made some decisions of what we thought the property would be worth. If it was rehabbed at the time, we did not think that it needed as much rehab as we ended up putting into it. But it's been a fun project, and some pictures that you see now are the old kitchen, which does not look that bad.
And when we saw the property, it was very dark in there. I guess all the blinds, the drapes are up, and it was a little bit harder to see the condition of the house. And obviously over time we brightened that. But yeah, we ended up kind of significantly underestimated the rehab. But we ended up kind of really improving the property. So this is the kitchen, and then from the kitchen sink, you're overlooking kind of the living room area. Next, I have okay. So let's go back to the living room area. You see over here, there is actually kind of a cloth covering a additional unit. Tamara, you want to talk about that additional unit, additional square footage? The
additional square footage that the owner had built onto the house was approximately 250 square feet, and it wasn't completely finished, but all it needed was the trim work. And we looked it over from what we see. It looked fine. And he said, I'll leave the remainder of the trim that I have that I've not put up. And okay, so we calculated this additional square footage into our ARV. But we got a little surprise. And Steve, would you like to tell them about the surprise, or would you like for me to?
I think maybe I'll share my perspective. We knew it wasn't air conditioned. We saw that it was insulated, and there was a old kind of burner
wood stove
to kind of heat up the space. And you can see the blankets covering up that area. I think we were there around summer, right? So just kind of to keep the warm air from coming in the house. And I think, and Tamla, you're much closer to the project. So maybe you can tell us the surprise.
Well, once the seller moved out, because he and his wife had a lease back for 30 to 60 days. I can't really remember, but I believe they stayed about 45 days before they moved out. Once they finally moved out and they took their possessions out, and we were able to really get in there and look over that room and other areas in the house, we started noticing some things that were not good. The building was not, or I should say the addition was not built to code at all. Nothing in there behind the walls. I mean, you couldn't see it unless you started tearing out the walls. And when we started tearing out the walls, nothing was up to code. The electrical was bad. The roof had not been, it was just a real mess. We made the decision to tear off that addition and to decrease the square footage by the 250 square feet. It would have cost us more to completely redo the addition than it would to tear it off. So we made the decision to tear it off, and it actually made the property look, the curb appeal changed tremendously, and it looked so much better once we tore it off.
Yeah, I have a photo of the additional unit kind of on the outside. And I think another thing I noticed is that after we rip that off, there's much more light coming in too. And we'll see that
Yes.
in the upcoming photo. So let me kind of share a little bit of the photos here. These are the bathrooms. I think there are 2 full baths.
Yes.
The first 2 photos is on the
This is the main. This is the main bathroom.
I think so.
Yes, this is the main bathroom. The owner's suite.
Yeah, I guess all 3 are. I was under the impression one of them is not, but actually they all are. And these are the photos of the I think the master.
Yes.
Is it the same one? I think both are the master.
Yes. And they were not living in the master bedroom. They actually had a bed in the living room. Mm-hmm. That's where they were living, in the front part of the house.
Okay, so all right, so now we took so this is phase 0, I guess. We took possession, and I learned that the first thing we do is demo, is kind of taking all the stuff apart and kind of removing all the things that we don't want. Correct.
And the first photo, you can see the where the opening was to the additional room, and you can see the old wood stove there. If you look closely, you can also see where the cased opening is. You can see it swaying in the middle. That's the first thing that I noticed. Once the blankets, everything were removed and everything, you can kind of stand back and notice that it's swaying a little bit. So that tells me right there, it's not enough support. And then in the other picture, that's where we started taking off the cabinet doors, the countertops. Our intentions were to use the cabinets, replace the doors, and replace the countertops. Once we started demoing this, we realized that the cabinets were not sturdy enough to have granite on them. Actually, I think we would have had a hard time putting any type of a countertop on them because they were just not really sturdy cabinets. So This time, Steve and I made the decision to gut the kitchen, completely refigure the kitchen, redesign it, and really update this house to a very modern home with a great kitchen in it, because it does have a really big kitchen in it, and we really wanted to make it easy flow, a kitchen that any cook would love to work in.
Yeah, so we completely changed the layout of the kitchen, which I thought was fantastic. It flows so much better now. And just a reminder, if you have questions, feel free to use the comment section. We're just kind of sharing the process of the rehab. Let's see what else. These are the other angles.
Yes, another angle of the old kitchen. The second one is the dining space. The third one is, I think that's just the hallway, just where we had to start redoing the hallway, cleaning it up, getting things ready.
Oh.
There's the outside, the exterior of it. Don't know, but to the right of the main house, you can see where the addition was. The roof was flat. The doors were interior doors, not exterior doors. The railing was non-existent. It was not in good shape. And as you can see on the second picture, you can see where they had a little mini split unit. That was the air conditioning that they were using for the living room, kitchen, dining area. And that's why they were living just in that area. Here you can see where we started the demo and started, we tore out the kitchen. Notice how big the space is, how much more light is in the area. Once we tore out all the cabinets, all the kitchen, we started painting a much, much lighter color. We started just bringing life back to this house. You can also see there where we closed in the opening going to the addition. We put a window there. And then we tore off the addition. But once we got the addition torn off, it just made all the difference in the world, in the light, the natural light that's coming in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that made a huge difference.
A huge difference. This is the picture of the hall bathroom, the guest bathroom. We did keep the bathtub. That we did keep. We got rid of everything else, but we kept the bathtub and we kept the mirror. This is the main bedroom after we started tearing everything out in there and getting ready to put the new in.
Yeah, put it all back together. Okay, and then I think here we have the second phase. I'm terming it a second phase. Maybe it's a little bit different for you, Tamla. But what I see here is that the addition is, we ripped that out, and then we put the siding on the exterior of the house, and then we also painted the gate.
Yes,
it was red before, and now it's fresh new paint.
We painted it black.
It's starting to look really fresh.
And there you can see the new kitchen going in. Just interior pictures of work that we're doing. The brightness is starting to come back in. Yeah,
I really love the interior. We painted that white and just allowing more light coming in. So it's night and day, literally, between from when we I guess before we purchased it, and it was just like lit up by light and all covered up, to now, which is, all that natural sunlight really brighten up the place.
Brightened everything else. This the first picture is the new vanity in the primary suite bathroom with granite countertops, new light fixtures, new bathroom faucets. The second picture shows where we tore out the old shower and we're putting in a new one, and it is completed now with the tile. And in the hall, the third picture is the hall bathroom with the new vanity. Of course, both bathrooms got new toilets, the new light fixture in the granite.
And I think this is probably where it got more exciting for me, because when I, the first couple of times I come visit, I go, okay, it got ripped, the stuff got ripped out. It felt like it was a lot, but it didn't start looking really nice yet. And I think this visit was when I started seeing the granite countertop coming up and going up, and the tiles of the bathroom. So it's starting to take into shape, and it starts to look like a really nicely remodeled home.
Yes, there's when you start doing this, when you tear, it's very exciting to get everything torn out, because you have a completely empty slate to work with, new slate to work with. And then it's like nothing happens for weeks, but things are happening. They're happening. Things are happening that you don't really think about when you're looking at properties. And that is the majority of the time that is being spent. The repainting, retexturing, cleaning up all the messes that were there before. Maybe, if you'll notice, we put in some new, the new lights, the new can lights. All of these things are things that people don't notice going through a renovation. You can also notice that we have a new door, exterior door there in the background. There was nothing wrong with the door that was on the property originally. Steve and I just felt as if the property needed to be modernized. We felt like the door that was on it was not a modern looking exterior door. And as you can see here, we changed the kitchen, we rearranged the kitchen, new cabinets, and we had custom built cabinets made. We rearranged the where they had the island. We brought that in and put it in a better location, one that we felt would work better in the kitchen. Relocated the refrigerator, relocated the dishwasher, the kitchen sink. The range is the only thing that pretty much stayed in the same location. More pictures of the kitchen. We wanted to make this house, shall I say, the aha moment when you walk in the door, the new kitchen.
So here we see the butcher countertop going up and the granite countertop. And I think the sink is in now.
Yes. Here you can see where we did decide to use butcher block on the majority of the kitchen and highlight the island with the granite.
Okay, so this is the most recent photo, Tamla, you sent me.
Yes, this is the new exterior paint. We have the railings up on the house. Still don't have the landscaping in. They're still doing a little work over there, but the difference is, it's unbelievable. The kitchen, would like y'all's opinion on the kitchen. We did something a little different this time. We not only used 2 different countertops, we also used 2 different backsplash tiles. In the back, the far back where we've got the lighter color tiles, There's shelves. We put shelves up in that area. There's 2 shelves now. I don't think, Steve, you've got that picture yet, but I'd like y'all's opinion on it.
Yeah. We got a couple of questions as well. We'll answer those. Now we got the shelves on these 2, and we're like, oh wow, okay, so that's what exactly it was for. We saw the tiles on the back before, and now when the shelves are up, we thought, oh wow, that's fantastic. We put all your plates and all that there, or whatever you wanna, however you wanna decorate that space. And the tiles, or the backsplash, right, is what we call it. And another thing I appreciate is the finish, kind of on the bottom of the cabinet.
Very happy with the cabinet maker. I'd never used this gentleman before. In fact, the crew that did this home, this was our first joint, and it's not a joint venture, but it was the first time that we had used these, and I was very amazed. I was very, very impressed. They do awesome work. I wish that they would travel out of the area, but they're so busy in the area, they don't have to travel. So thank you, Robin. I think I saw your comment. I appreciate that.
Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, so kind of finishing out of the bathroom.
This is the new shower.
Yeah. I want to use it. Okay, so that's this segment of the case study. And Tamla, you said that you told me that there is just a little more work to be done. What do you have in mind there to kind of finishing it up?
Well, we're going to do some landscaping. Mm-hmm. If you remember, there was a tree house on the property in front of the house.
It's a dangerous structure.
Yes, it's almost torn completely down. It will be removed. We're having the driveway going into the property because the property is not right on the highway, on the road. It's a little off. So the driveway is a long driveway. We're having gravel brought in. We're having that spread so that you don't knock your vehicle out of line when you drive up to the property. We're having a new HVAC put in. The seller told us that, there was only something simple with the problem with the HVAC. And we looked it over and was thinking, okay, great. But after we got in there, we realized that it's probably going to have to be replaced. So we are replacing the HVAC. This property, for what we're putting the property on the market for, we need to put in a new HVAC system. The more of the light fixtures have got to go up. Hardware is going on the countertop. That was selected this week. Appliances got to be installed. The property is on 20 acres, and we are going to have it cleaned up. Someone's supposed to be coming out to cut the grass on the 20 acres. And I think they're actually going to bale hay on it and get some hay bales off of it. And this is something to remember when you're working with a property like this. You can probably find people that will do these things, and they'll take the hay and they won't charge you anything to cut the grass. If you let them have the hay or work out a deal with them. It's just, once you get into this, you'll start, and people will come by and ask you, do you want to, can we work something out here? Can we do this? Can we do that? Still got to have some trees trimmed up there. But I'm waiting for the contractors to finish up on the inside and kind of get all of their equipment off the property before we go in and landscape and clean up the exterior. on the property. I don't want somebody having to walk around sawhorses and things like that to get the property landscaped or cleaned up on that. And I certainly don't want a mower throwing out nails or debris that can break a window, can do harm to somebody. Somebody might end up getting hit by something like that. We do have one window that did get cracked during the renovation, and I'll wait till everything's finished up before that gets replaced. And that is simply because I don't want it happening again.
So a lot of details. Okay, so I see a lot of questions. Thank you for the questions. Keep asking the questions. We're going to come back to it. And I think we'll also kind of talk about some of the things that we didn't expect to have in our Q&A segment. Now, for now, I want to introduce my executive partner, our Real Estate IQ executive partner on stage, Mr. John Huang. He's a really good friend of mine. And I think we really strike out when we started talking about entrepreneurship and spiritualism. How do we do well and do good? And so I just thought John is an authority to speak to that. He's a pastor. He's a successful entrepreneur and also a successful executive. So and I just heard his talk a couple of days ago on this particular topic on spirituality and entrepreneurship, and I thought this is so insightful. Like, we gotta bring it to our meetup and our audience and our community. And so, without further ado, John, please, the stage is yours.
Yes, thank you, Steve. Can you all hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
Excellent.
Welcome.
So I am going to start my slides. Yes, we do have some slides, folks. Okay. So first of all, my background is good, right? All right. So let me start it off saying, hey, my friends, you are here not in coincidence. It's our provision, okay? If you think that we're just here to hear some business and then, get excited, I agree with you, but there is more than that. Let me show you the title of today. There are two sessions I'm going to be talking about spiritual entrepreneurship, okay? And the first session, of course, is today. But let me start it off with this picture on the left side. Do you recognize this picture? Feel free to type into the chat, okay? This is a painting, and it's a very expensive painting. All right, is it from okay, all right. Rabia, you said you recognize that? Wonderful. Do you know who's that? Okay, who's the artist? Van Gogh, yes, from Dutch, right? From Dutchland. But if I were to show you another picture, excellent, starry light. Thank you, Daniel. Have you seen this picture painting from the same artist before? It's a candle cross Bible prayer book. What? Yes, Van Gogh actually painted many spiritual or spirituality related themes in the past. But anyway, I just want to get you interested, right? First of all, this painting is a lot more expensive than the previous one. So Starry Night, right? Because it's rare. It's in his early ages of artistic work, and most of them are lost, okay? And because people don't know about his history. So in the second session next week, I'm going to talk about his life a little bit, okay? And it's all related to spiritual entrepreneurship. So yes, do you know we have 54 million entrepreneurs in the United States as of 2023? 54 million. We only have 300 million people, right? But 1/6 of them are entrepreneurs. Isn't that interesting? So today I'm going to talk about this entrepreneurship is spirituality, okay? So first of all, let's look at which age are we in? Where are we in the human history, okay? There are 4 stages of human history. First stage is called hunters or nomadic age. This is where we go hunt, right? People, human, go hunting. They collaborate because one person cannot hunt down a dinosaur, so they have to collaborate with each other. It depends on the individual's skill to be part of the team. Okay, if a person has no skill, only has a big stomach, he's not going to be part of a team, right? And it's a survive or sacrifice. Because if you're weak, right, you still can contribute to the team as a bait. Unfortunately, you don't want to be that. So what we call that era, a fightenomics, is all about fighting. The next is called the agrarian age, is when most of the people were entrepreneurs because they can plant some seeds, water the seeds, and then fertilizer a little bit, and then they can harvest in the end, right? It's no longer, we're talking about the haze and all that. That was funny that, coincides with each other. But people became dominating of their land and their territories. This is where people start carrying their last names. As some of the people know that, in Spanish, we have a DE, de, and we have a von, right, in the Dutch and the German area. And there are many of these kind of a middle conjunction words. What do they mean? They mean from. From. So they name their land, they name themselves by the land, and then they carry their land name everywhere they go. Yeah, it's a feudal age as well. But also there's something called a hierarchy. Okay. There's someone who is the landlord, and there's a different levels. And of course, at the end is the workers, right? And we call that a tribonomics because even for farming, you need a tribe to do different kind of a work in order to harvest a big land of crops. If you just do it on your backyard, at the most you can feed yourself for a meal, but not a whole year. What about the next one? That makes you wonder, right? The next one is what we call the industrial age. That is from the 18th century, actually 17th century, right? This is where the system of mechanics and through different energy sources are utilized to fertilize, to irrigate the farms, or ultimately it was the steaming engine identified or discovered, and to essentially to replace human resources. But it didn't replace. It replaced the human muscles, but it didn't replace the human hands and the human brains. So human or workers are more precious. Okay, so at that time it was a competitive if you can work on certain skills. So they built a pension system, and it was a golden age for employees because we're short of workers, skilled workers. School is becoming, or vocational school are very popular at that era. Okay, and people pursue the skills and to work in a industry. And also, this is the time when bureaucracy became nurtured. Okay, because of the work, there are good work and bad jobs, and then people get grilled in the Texas summer sunlight, right? That's a bad job, bad work. But if you work in the office with the ACs, that's a good job, right? Demolition of the house that Steve was working on, it was tough, right? Because I still remember my partners in the real estate that they ripped off the roof in the in the July sunlight in Texas. It was grilling, right? So you want to get AC room, then you got to cater to a bureaucracy, right? The authority. But at that time, the industrial age, we're still in some part of the industrial age, tail of the industrial age as well. And it's all dependent on the wage and who pays you, you do what, right? So it's called a wagenomics. And people choose where they get paid more, right? What about next one? Next one is what we're familiar with. It's called the information age. That is, of course, y'all know in the 80s, in the 90s, especially during the dot-com, outburst, right? Machine replaced people, computer replaced people. And actually, in the 80s, the pension system was ripped off, replaced by 401k. Okay. Is that a good thing? Not really. Y'all know Robert Kiyosaki, right? Robert Kiyosaki wrote a lot of books. You read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Good for you. But you should read the second book. It's called The Cash Quadrant, and play his game called the Cash 101 game, right? And I actually use that to teach youth at the church and in the community so they could appreciate a little bit about how money works, how finance works, right? Investment works. Get them involved in the real estate, get them involved in other entrepreneurship. But Robert Kiyosaki also wrote a book around the year 2003. And the book's name is Prophecy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know he's religious or a faithful person, a Christian. I don't know him on that, but he wrote this book called Prophecy because he predicted that during the time of 2008 to 2010, there will be a huge financial crisis in the United States. Because of what? Because of the pension system being replaced and the 401k was introduced. Okay, read that book. It's really worthwhile. Okay. And of course, at that time, internet was popular. People get informations at their fingertip, and they all, outsourcing started at that time era as well. Globalization is unstoppable, right? And it's boundaryless, right? Everybody can build everything at everywhere at any time, at any cost. So what we call that era, we call that techonomics. It's all about if you know internet, if you know how to program, if you know how to use internet and technology. Y'all agree, folks? Okay. Hopefully some of you lived through that. The crisis of 2008 and the crisis of 2000, right? Well, not hopefully, because tough time doesn't last, but tough people do. Okay. Y'all tough people. That's why you're in the real estate business with us, right? All right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's not a joke. That's very serious because I lived through those two eras. Man, I was made very tough. Okay, what's the next era, my friends? This era is represented by, you can use any extra room, extra vehicle, extra this, extra that, and share it among the population or community and make money out of it. Okay, and some people heard about, no. Airbnb is a home hotel entrepreneurship or franchise, right? You use the platform to build. Or people know Uber is when people use a car to replace taxi. But do you know the ultimate source of those ideas really came out from where? It actually came out from the retiring baby boomer era. Baby boomers are born in 1946 to 1964. As of this year, the youngest one is already 61-year-old. Okay. What do they do with the extra rooms after they became like empty nests, right? Or they become somehow disabled or become nursing home bonded? What do they do with their vehicles? Can they resell them? Can they sell the house? Yes. But some people got the idea that utilize the spare rooms and spare vehicles to make money for them, right? And it started off in Europe. The idea was very popular. Let the young people to co-live with the elders. So take the the elders to hospitals, to shoppings. Yet at the same time, the younger ones don't get charged a rental. Okay, it's called co-living spaces, right? So that evolved into Airbnb business. Okay. So where's that from. Now, there are many, many other things. The co-sharing business is extremely popular for the last 15 years, right? What do you call that, right? It's all about the networking. It's about who do you know, the influences. And then that pushes for everybody to try to become a internet, celebrity or personality. Because once you have that influence, guess what? You can sell anything, right? Or share anything. Sharing is becoming valuable. That's why YouTube will pay you if you have a network of 10,000 people, right? And Facebook pay you, Twitter pay you, right? Because network decides your net worth. So what do we call that? We call that a sharenomics. Okay. So hopefully that term resonates with you, my friends. Okay. So far, are we okay? We're kind of keeping up with my pace so far. All right, I would assume the silence is good. And people are taking notes, either taking notes or yawning, but let's keep going, all right? So, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a French word, okay, terminology used in the 15th century, used for military expedition or large public work. 18th century, they use it for economics and the business contest, okay? And the 19th century is fully dedicated to business, all right, production. But there's one thing we need to notice. Entrepreneurship is not a capitalism. Entrepreneur is not a capitalist, okay? What Steve and shared earlier for that project, that's entrepreneurship. It's not a capitalist. Capitalists are the people that throw money at the things and make things happen, right? 20th century entrepreneurship has become really popular among the all the different industry, different country, different continent. Okay, but all thanks to this book, The Theory of Economic Development. Okay, and there is a new concept introduced to entrepreneurship, which is innovation, innovator. Okay, so you have a business idea, then you need to innovate. Okay, I love the demolition project that demonstrated earlier. You have to be innovative, all right, and you have to see what things may turn out. You have to have a vision, right? So to share the words, right? Entre means entre is actually Spanish, Latin, and then French word, right? Preneur, pre is before, right? Entre is between, if you don't know. Join, okay? Nerve means nerve system or is a network, okay? Nerve is network. Preneur is meaning actually I'm buying and selling from a network. So entrepreneur is what? Between the network or in the network, I'm doing business. That's entrepreneurship. That's entrepreneur. Okay. So creating something out of a value from a practical nothing is the whole concept of entrepreneurship or the spirit of entrepreneurship. We got it? Okay. So all different kind of languages, other than Japanese, people don't recognize because it has no on, there's no tra, there's no whatever. It's called a kyoka. Okay. But it's the same translation. Okay. The meaning is entrepreneurship. Is a starting, key is a starting. Kyo is business. So starting a business. Okay. Starting a business. That's what the Japanese words means. But anyway, let's take a look at this. So as an entrepreneur, what do we need? Well, we need to have we're a risk taker and we're a creator of a new system, innovators. And we're a change agent. We try to do something good for the human being, for the societies, right? And we are, again, innovator. And we build a system, so we're organizers. And as a matter of fact, we're uncertainty barriers. Okay, so that's what entrepreneurs are. If we take a look at all the books and some of the classical ones that have depicted, these qualities, characters, and personalities of entrepreneurs, here are the books. However, what I did, the next slide is to show you there is an intrinsic correlation between entrepreneurship and spirituality. So forgive me, some of you probably believe in different religion or different faith tradition. I'm Christian, so allow me to share some of the correlations between Christianity, a faith tradition, and entrepreneurship. Because for each of these books and the concepts between these books, there is a Bible verse we can quote. For instance, from the Create by Choice, The Grade by Choice by Jim Collins is an awesome book about entrepreneurship. In the Bible, Romans 12:2, don't conform to the patterns of this world, but become transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? Renewing your mind, that's what entrepreneurs always do because we're a change agent, right? So I don't have time to read all through these scriptures, but this is just correlation to show you, right? So why entrepreneurship? All right, you can validate your own thinking. This is entrepreneurship. People have a physical needs. They need to feed their families, or they need a safety to surround themselves with money resources so they don't have to, go begging people for money or, live under somebody else's roof. Well, some people like to connect with others, make friends, build a community. That's a social, right? And or some of the people just like to show what they're built for, the gifts they received, and they wanted to achieve a excellence in their life. Last, if not the least, is the self-fulfillment. They just want to do something to feel they're contributing to the kingdom, to the world. So this is what we call the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you don't familiar with that. So, for the next session, I would, next week, I definitely want to talk to you about what it is you're thinking, right? Why you are doing this entrepreneurship. Feel free to introduce your friends, invite them to our, Thursday meetups, okay? We get ideas, not only deals, but we fill each other's cup so that we don't just get drained by the business, but we get filled up by our business. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. All right. As an entrepreneur, okay, the spiritual perspective has a three ways of creating entrepreneurship, or why people create entrepreneurship. Number one is a calling. It's a calling. Okay, just as Abraham was called to go to Canaan, right? Second is a stewardship. Some people have that skill sets and they are built strong in that skill set. So he or she is willing to contribute that skill set to the society and the greatest goodness of everyone. So that's called stewardship, right? The last, if not least, is service. We call it a SaaS, SaaS, BaaS, BaaS, and all these. Do you know what that S is standing for? Service, as a service. AS is as a service, okay? So, Real Estate IQ, we are a data as a service company, okay? We're a technology company, we're a data mining company, we're also deal making company, right? On Friday in our open house, we're going to talk about the full services we offer and the full collaborations we offer to the societies. And you are more than welcome to join us, 11 o'clock, okay, Central Standard Time. Now, look at this. This is the life cycle of a church, right? It started off and the growth and the plateau, and then there is a turning point, either go up or, kind of separate and decline, right? If we overlay it with the entrepreneurship, they look exactly in the same way. So somehow, somewhere, we all have a turning point. Somehow, somewhere, we all have a takeoff point. Somehow, somewhere, we all have a plateau time. Okay? So in this, are we ready for entrepreneurship? I'm sure you are. Because what I want to show you is actually entrepreneur is a team sports. Team sports. Okay. Entrepreneurship is all about watch the game, join the game, and play the game with each other and win the game together and change the game with everybody's hands in each other. Okay. And if you believe that, hey, amen. We're in the same team. Okay. So let me show you a team that has touched billions of people. Okay. This is what we called and what is being called the PayPal mafia. They literally every day they touch 2.6 billion people through this network of entrepreneurs. Started off at a PayPal, okay, which was funded by Peter Thiel and a bunch of others, and YouTube creators, and Yelp creator, LinkedIn program, Tesla creator, Square. All these companies came from PayPal. That's why it's called PayPal Mafia. All right. Well, put the term aside. Let's recognize a little bit about Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel himself is a Christian. He was born in an evangelical family, and he grew up with a strong belief. And as his success amounted through all the investment and entrepreneurship, the more he's leaning towards guiding entrepreneurs, coaching entrepreneurs, and leading them to know the truth, right? To be on the right path. So Peter Thiel has demonstrated what a team sports can be when you have the right spirituality on your mind. Okay. And entrepreneurs are preachers too. Do you know that? Because you either share the visions, you use your words and actions, or you use your effort, devotions, or wealth, lifestyle. As I showed these three pictures, you probably can resonate. We all know the lower left man. This is a great man. There was a movie made after him. Okay. This is Freeman. He was a boxer and he failed to defend a championship. Guess what? He turned into an entrepreneur, right? He sold pots and cooking wares on the TVs and became really successful. Then he decided at a late age to go back to the ring and he won the championship. There was a movie made of him, right? However, there are two others, and I don't know if you're their fans. I'm sorry. First is this upper right corner, this woman. She has a degree from Harvard. She created entrepreneurship, but she cheated on the data and faked the experiment and the instrument for the diabetes detection machine, right? And essentially, he was sent into the jail. Of course, under the bottom, your words, your lifestyle also affect people too as an entrepreneur. Because your dress, this is who? This is a Lady Gaga. I can't stop laughing at this picture, right? She dressed like a demon, right? And this is when she was receiving the award. She dressed in this way. Her behavior, her lifestyle affect the people, especially the young people. So you are a preacher, my friends. Okay, I know you flip your houses, but you're a preacher. Okay, and employees are massive mission field. If you don't know, you either lead them to the light or you lead them into darkness. You either influence their life to have a living water coming out from their life, or you give them a depression, you give them a perplexion, you give them a stress and anxieties. Okay, and there are how to involve God in business, right? There are many ways. So I'm going to keep this as a secret for the next topic. But hey, you can call your universe, or if you believe in something else, or as long as you believe in something beyond the universe, beyond the earth, then we're on the same page. But hopefully, I want you to recognize, Jesus is the ultimate savior of this universe, and he's coming back, and we got to get ready to do that. All right. With that said, I'm going to yield the stage back to Steve, my dear friend.
Thank you, John. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Cool. So we got more coming. Actually, for now, let's go to Q&A. I know Tamla has like 2 minutes left, and she has to join her next engagement. So we got a couple of rehab questions. Tamla, let's see what we can share here. How much was the original estimate, and what was the end amount for repair?
Our original estimate was between $20,000 and $25,000. We are now at between $58,000 and $60,000. We've also increased the value of this property. So Steve and I had talked about putting this property on the market from the beginning at about $100,000 less than what we're going to be putting it on the market now. The market has increased by that amount also in the area. So we feel very confident that we can get what we're going to ask for it.
And I think, what was, because we bought it at a good price. We kind of purchased the property with the formula, with enough buffer.
Yes.
And that kind of saved us, that kind of protected us from that, in addition to the increase in market value. Did you already have an established contractor, or was this a new contractor?
This was a new contractor. I do have established contractors. But Steve and I have 5 rehabs going on at the moment. So waiting for the same person to get to each job would put us behind months. So this was a new contractor. He was recommended to me by several people. And I thought, okay, let's give him a try. He was highly recommended. I met with him. I talked with him. I saw pictures of his work, and I gave him the job. I've been extremely impressed with him. In the beginning, it was a little, we worked together, but it wasn't a smooth working relationship. Now we have a very good relationship. He knows what the expectation is from me. I know what the expectation is from him. He also knows that if he needs something, because this was a relationship, Steve and I are purchasing the materials. The contractor is not purchasing materials. So he knows now that he can't call me the day that he needs the materials and expect me to get up and get the materials. So he gives me about a week ahead of time now before he needs something. Nice. And that's good. I need that. But this was a process that probably slowed things down a little in the beginning because we didn't quite understand that about each other. But this is something that happens with any new contractor that you're going to be working with. And then once you have that working relationship, you each know what to expect from each other.
So, Tam, we still got a couple more questions, but I know you have to go.
I can answer one more.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me pick one then. Maybe this one. How long did it take to finish?
How long did the entire project take, and when are you projected to finish? Remodel looks amazing, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much. This project, we started, we started cleaning up the project the end of February, first part of March. We purchased the property, I believe it was the beginning of December. But as I said, the sellers had a lease back and were there for approximately 45 days. And then when they did leave, and Steve can give you a little more information on this, they didn't quite do what they were supposed to do. So it took them another month to actually get out there and do what they were supposed to do. And because we had a holdback on their money, but then we started the demo. So this project has taken longer than what we expected, but we've run into several challenges like water leaks, several water leaks all over the property. Steve can explain a little bit more about that. We are waiting for some materials to come in, like the appliances, things like that. So I'm thinking the next week we'll probably be finished with at least the interior and the exterior of the project, and then we'll start the cleanup and the landscaping. I'm actually hoping to have this property on the market by the middle of September. The real estate agent that is listing it is getting prepared. She's doing her comps, running all of those before we list it, and she's in the process of doing that. So thank y'all all. I love the feedback. Open to it, welcome to it, and I really enjoy doing this. I do have to run this time, so see y'all.
And Pamela, I just want to thank you so much for leading the project. I know you brought up my name, but I see that you're the one running these projects. I'm kind of in the background supporting, and so really appreciate the management of the contractors and all these contingencies that come up, and really addressing those, right?
You're welcome, Steve. I appreciate everything you do. I would have to hire somebody to help me handle everything that you are handling. So we're a good team.
Yeah, we complement each other.
Yes, we do very much. Guys, y'all have a great weekend, a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you,
God
Tamla.
bless everyone.
Bye-bye.
So I'm welcoming John back on stage. We still got a couple of items here. Rabia, your question about where's the property? It is in a city called Mart, Texas. It's about 30 minutes from Waco. In terms of offer price and the numbers, I will prepare it for our next session. So we'll share a little more about that next week. Let's talk about, hey, John, I want to show you some of these deals we have in inventory. This is kind of exciting. So we got these 2 deals in Galveston. So if you're in the Houston area and you're interested in Galveston, this could be, we have 2 deals right now. These are just kind of came online. We have now photos available, and also the lockbox code is also available. So if you're in the area, you want to see the house, you can tour it. The process is, if you're interested, go ahead and you can submit an offer on email. Just tell us, I guess, what your offer price is, and also show your proof of funds, and that would be the process to kind of get this started. So we got one property here on 43rd Street in Galveston. It's a multifamily zoned. And then we have, where's the other one? Oh, is this the one? Yeah, this is the other one. And it's a single family zoned, also in Galveston. And then I'm going to go back to the 2 San Antonio. So these 4 properties are all quite new on our inventory. And so, these are also the asking prices. So if you're interested in seeing more of these properties, we have a deals program. Make sure you sign up for that program. So we'll start sending you these deals that really match your buy box. And then, if you're interested in these properties, just reach out to me, and I'll connect you to how to access the property. Okay, we already did our Q&A.
Yeah.
Oh, upcoming events.
And
we have a couple of events coming up. Tonight we have a recording on BRR strategy, which is buy, rehab, refinance, and repeat. We also have a couple, these are all the events. We have like 5 events every kind of towards the end of every week, right? We start by kicking off the meetup here. This evening, we have a recording of a topic on buy and hold portfolio. Tomorrow morning, we have the deal makers meetup on MAP, which stands for Mortgage Arbitrage program. And then John is going to be heading our Friday open house. And then Saturday, we have another educational event here. John, you got any
that's right. And
final comments before we end
and I would
today's
encourage
session?
people. Yeah, can you hear me okay, Steve?
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to actually, spread the good news about these deals that we're harvesting together. We have a team working on it. So today, for flippers and the fixer flippers, and especially or wholesalers, it's quite challenging to find the right sources of the houses and negotiating. We do have a brand new strategy that has worked since 2023. Okay, and you're welcome to partner with us and participate in the deals. And this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow at 11. But Thursday, this is where we show all these cases, because we are not only the deal makers, we're also a market makers too. So hopefully you bring your deals here and free advertisement, and let us know you have a deals you wanted to share in the network, and let the rest of the folks participate in your deals, right? And to sell it or to turn it into cash more quickly. All right. With that said, thank you for coming. And as I said, we see each other tomorrow then.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Appreciate everybody, and appreciate your talk as well. And look forward to the next segment of your talk too. All right. Have a good Thursday, everybody. Cheers.
Everybody have a good Thursday. God bless.